is another word for smart work is mental work and network. Those three things are powerful. For example, hard work can help you to become a millionaire. Yes, that's true. There are a lot of people who have become millionaires by working really, really hard. But you see, for you to become a multi-millionaire, in other words, you have millions, 100 million, let's even use Naira since most of us are Nigerians. For you to have 100 million Naira, hard work won't take you that there. You will need some level of smart work with the hard work. But you see, that's also sometimes where smart work will keep you. For you to become a billionaire, you must add network to it. Because your network determines your net worth. Somebody says that poor people go to work, rich people build network. It took me years to realize that there are levels to these things. So at the face of my life, all I need to do, I want to go to the office, I want to put structure, I want to make sure, okay, we're efficient, we're this, we're that. And the phase came where I realized that with all of the structure and efficiency and whatever, it had a limit. When we dragged it, there was just a limit. And I realized what was missing was that I had grown to a point where actually the new work is network, is to be at the golf course, not just to play, actually, yes, to play, but to meet people, to network with the caliber of people who can afford what I do, who can partner, who can, give enough resources, who can invest in our company. And so when you see some wealthy people today in private jet, tomorrow in your yacht, and next tomorrow they're playing golf, you actually think they're playing. Actually, that's their own new phase of work. Okay, it's like I say again, there are levels to these things. Are you guys learning, by the way? Let me be sure. Are you learning something? You're learning type, I'm learning.
We are
Absolutely.
learning. We are learning.
Right. So it's important to understand. Now, by the way, please do not misquote me, right? I am not saying any of those things are not important. I just said there are levels to it. So there's a phase of your life, aggressively pursue hard work. There's a phase of your life, merge the two. There's a phase of your life, the three is what is going to deliver. Hard work, smart work, and network equals success. So I have a quote, hard work plus, smart work plus network equals success or equals wealth equals aka much money, right? So whatever one you prefer. So I want to share with you four things that can help you grow this topic about growing your wealth and growing your money. Four quick things, right? And number one is you need to understand cash flow quadrant. Cash flow quadrant was a concept by a man called, Robert Kiyosaki, whom I read his book at the age of 17, 18, and that changed my life. Because that was the book that opened me up to the fact that, hey, education is what determines whether I'm rich or poor. And I needed more than just formal education for wealth to occur. I needed something called financial intelligence. And there are four key things that were shared in the cash flow quadrant. Number one is that there are two types of people, even though they are practically divided into four. So a type of people either have a job or they own a job. So you say they are employees or they are self-employed. But 95% of people in the world, that's what they do, and they only control 5% of the money in the world. Meaning, according to data, guarantee you can never become financially free if you are only in either of these two categories. We then have, there's a category B, which is business owners and investors. Now, it's believed that only 5% of people in the world do this, and they control 95% of the money in the world. This was one of the reasons why a recent data after COVID showed that about 3,000 people in the world controlled I think it's 70% of the money in the world. Just 3,000 people. Right? So, and the reason is because these people have decided to be in category B, which is they either own businesses or they're investors in many businesses and money work for them. Now, this is important. If I ask many of you here, how many of you are employees? Some of you raise your hands up and you can please let me know. If you're an employee, just type employee. If I ask some of you are self-employed, please type self-employed. If you're self-employed, just type it. I want to see in the data just to see. If I also ask some of us, how many of you are business owners? Okay, and you can type if you think you're a business owner, please type. I want to see as well. I'm very sure a couple of us would say, hey, I'm a business owner. And then if I ask, how many of you are investors? So please type again. If you're a business owner, type I'm a business owner. If I'm an investor, type you're an investor. Now I could see a couple of people say business owner, business owner. The question I want to ask such people is, what's the difference between a self-employed person and a business owner? Right now, and I'm beginning to go to a little dimension where I then improve on what Robert Kiyosaki said, because I realized that motivational speakers really confused us. And I'll tell you why they confused us. Because as a motivational speaker, you're actually self-employed. So you see them telling us, come on, go own a business, don't work for nobody. You can never be rich working for paper. And then you say, yeah, I'm leaving my bank job, their father. I'm going to start my business. And then a few months later, all the excitement is gone. You're back to say, oh God, no vex. It was the devil that pushed me. My children have school fees, my landlord, I'm owing house rent. And it was because the people who were majorly speakers teaching these things, they themselves did not even know that they were self-employed, right? Because for a business to become a business, it actually takes years. For Dangote, it took him 15 to 16 years. I can go on and on. I mean, the people who have started doing it a bit faster are the tech guys like Mark Zuckerberg and all of that. And even the Mark Zuckerberg and co, Uber and all of that, it still show that they still needed between 8 years to about 12 years. I'm talking about even the tech guys that you know today, for the business to evolve from being a self-employed, self-employment or owning something, to now the company being so structured that with or without the owner, the company can run. It's taken me 15 years, and I'm just at the last leg of that. Which is in my own case, we just brought in a new group CEO. He's had over 20 years experience as an investment banker. He's a Pakistani. His salary actually is 10 times mine. So I had to tell them, I'm the chairman now. People have to review my salary. What kind of nonsense is this? You don't even respect your chairman. But for you to kind of get the kind of money you want him to raise for you, you have to humble yourself and get somebody who is being paid more than you, the owner of the business, right? But again, we're at that, and it's taken us 15 years to be at that point where now I spent 6 months out of Nigeria. They don't even miss me. The company runs on its own. So the question now is, ladies and gentlemen, if we agree, how many of you now agree that most of us are actually self-employed? Come on, I need your answer, right? Those of us who are type business owner. If you can agree, just type I agree. Okay. Now, if that is the case, the question is, will we all wait 15 years, right? 20 years, 12 years to now, get our business to that point of being a business, right? So what is the solution? Now, I have come up with a fantastic solution, and what I tell people is to cross it. If you're an employee, don't prioritize owning a business. Prioritize being an investor. So prioritize saving your money. And if you have read the book called Richest Man in Babylon, that was exactly what that book was talking about. Prioritize saving your money and then making sure you put that money saved into investment. and understand that there are 3 types of investment, which is also why you probably tell me, Dr. Stevie, you don't understand. I've done all type of investment. I lost my money. Yes, you lost your money because you only put it into one category of investment, high risk. AEJ, UJ, MMM, money wise, penny foolish, all those programs, right? Give me 50% in a year, give me 100%. That's a high risk investment. I understand some of you say, oh, no, you don't understand. The owner of that company is a pastor, is a pope, is a bishop. I trust him. This has nothing to do with trust. This is where we're missing it. It has everything to do with the risk level of the returns. In fact, that's how you know a high risk investment. Once the return is too high, whether the business is legitimate or not, Forex is a legitimate business and people don't get it. There's nothing, all your banks are using your savings to do Forex. It's a legitimate business, but it's a high risk business. That's why even your banks will not use all your money to do Forex. It's just a percentage. So divide your money into 3: high risk, mid risk, and low risk. Now you've been losing money because you've been pushing it only into high risk. Real estate is mid risk, and that you're doing mid risk does not mean you shouldn't do low risk. As I speak to you, I have low risk investment. What low risk? You have bonds, you have treasury bills, you have insurance like annuity, right? I have one that I did where they will be giving me 5%. You say it's so low, 5% in a year. Yes, but I did it. But the one I did also had, and I have some other ones, I just do multiple like that, also has some form of health insurance in it. So if you have any emergency health issue, they release $200,000 to you to quickly handle the health issue. So you need to think that way, ladies and gentlemen, right? High risk, mid risk, low risk. Come on. Guys, are you getting value? I love a very interactive class.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you getting value? If you're getting
Yes,
value,
sir.
just type
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting
Yes, sir.
value, I'm learning. So once you can cross that, I don't care whether you're self-employed or you're an employee, just begin to put yourself into say, hey, I must give myself wisdom. While I am at this self-employment or I'm having a job, and one of the things motivational speakers also have done is to make you to despise your days of little beginning. Every Nigerian wants to start a business as if it's easy to own a business. You better get your own self-esteem right. There's dignity in labor. Love your job. This is the phase you are now. Oh, you need to see me selling popcorn. Lord of mercy. Jesus, I did it with pride. Redeem camp every first Friday, right? Whole what's it called? Experience every December. Buy popcorn, turn it to music. That was my level. You do not despise your days of little beginning. I was a pastor on campus when I was doing those business. My colleague pastors will see me, they would dodge, because they felt I was an embarrassing man of God, okay, that I was embarrassing them. But what's funny today is that some of those people are not even in ministry, neither are they even in the faith today. And if you ask them what took them out, it was challenges of life, particularly financially related. Oh yeah, everybody, I want to type, there is dignity in labor. I tell people it's a
There's
lot
dignity in labor.
difficult to be a good Christian when you are poor. Even when we talk about integrity, it's difficult to have integrity when your landlord says, you are owing me, I'm throwing your load out today as the Lord liveth. It's difficult. It's difficult. And that's why whatsoever your hand find to do it well. Let's not be confused, people. Some people say, but Dr. Stephen, I'm still discovering my purpose. The one God has given to you, do it well. Do it well. While you are looking for this so-called purpose, right? What God has given you, do it well. Because you don't even know how God works. He works in a mysterious way. We have a very powerful pastor. Powerful. Like if you're talking about succession of redeem, okay, you can't but be saying, what will Gandhi say? Right? Today now, the man has handed over, king of Bomosho. In fact, when he was angry telling that the Jew, we will not, I don't believe in it. I just say, this one, you brought it from heaven. This one, you can't even say, you brought it from heaven. You brought it. Go and pray. The man refused to pray. Right? Say he's not interested. That. But everybody was disturbing him. The day he said he will answer them, in the morning, he said, God, I'm confused. What do you think? The Holy Spirit said, you were born for this. All this, even the pastoring you've been doing for 30 years is to prepare you for this bigger assignment. So wake up. I know you love Pastor Akin and you just want to preach like him. I get it. But this one God has put in your hand, do it well. Do it well. There is your ministry. I was telling somebody today, I said, you just don't understand it. All right, as deep in my heart, there's no difference when I was pastoring a church and when I'm doing business. My business is my ministry. I run my business like I am going to preach. Right? Whatsoever your hand find to do, do it well. Now, while you're doing that, whatever is coming out of it, begin to think of what I told you. Mid-risk, low risk and high risk investment, be putting it there. Some of you will tell me, but Dr. Stephen, you don't understand. There's not enough money. I'm actually struggling. We don't make good money. I get it. Listen, you will never have enough money. Let me share this with you. I now need money more badly than when I was a poor man. Let me repeat it again, and I'm not joking. I am more in need of money today than when I was poor. And I'll explain to you. One mistake, one unnecessary drop in sales after 30 days means 300 people will not be paid salary. Some of them will not pay house rent. Some of them will not pay children's school fees. You just have no clue the level of pressure that gives you. It's now that I understand when Bishop Oyedepo was telling some student who asked him, when we want to read, we take Nescafe, to stay awake. But you don't sleep much. What do you take? And he said responsibility. I went to bed last night, I think 10 p.m. or so. Woke up 2 a.m. I've not slept till now. Your brain will just, you will want the sleep. You won't just sleep. Your brain will just be calculating. Right? Responsibility. So it's important to know that you will never have enough money. That's not a cause, it's the reality. The richest people in the world are the ones who need money more desperately. So you just need to know that you just have to start creating this structure. In fact, I tell people, I say my business started growing when I made sure I created sources of income outside of my business. It was when I no longer need to rely on my business for my own family needs that I started making long-term decisions for our company. Because some of you who are self-employed, you know what I'm talking about. It's between paying salary versus paying children's school fees, paying your house rent, right? It's between, expanding your business versus, taking care of your family. So you are juggling all these things, and it affects your capacity to make long-term decisions for your business. But you see, when you become financially free, when you have built system, whether your business make money or not, you and your family, you will be fine. You will see that your brain will start thinking at a dimension you never expect. You stop being a hustler. You start thinking long term. You start thinking amazing strategies, and it's just going to be a game changer even for your business or your career. You will go to work. You will treat your boss right as your first customer, because even if they fail to pay salary for that month, you have a system that is constantly bringing money for you, right? And so you will be more responsible. Are we learning something today? Okay,
Yes.
so I need to start bringing to an end. So I've spent a lot of time on number one. So maybe I will just end at number 2 or number 3. So number two, submit to consistent learning. And I think this is one of where we miss it the most. And I've said this a lot when I come, particularly because I know the convener of this meeting is a pastor, so I know a lot of his followers will be believers. And I've always had to, help believers understand this, that you must prioritize, self-development, concept around developing yourself in understanding about finance and money, the same way you want to understand more about the Bible, about the Holy Spirit, right? It's important, and it's not a destination, it's a journey, right? If I ask some of you now, aside this program that you are doing with Pastor Akin, when last did you spend at least some money, let's even say, just being conservative, 200,000 to learn about a business, or to learn about money, or to learn about finance? Some of us, it's been a while. If I ask some of us, when last did you read a book about money or about finance? It's been a while. And those who train will reign in life. If you see anybody doing well, they are lifelong student of the subject that they are dominating. So there's a need to constantly keep feeding yourself. Just make sure, and I keep saying it. I mean, it took me years to realize that at this level of my life, any field I want to read a book on, I want to attend seminar on, the person teaching me must have credibility. For years, I didn't understand this, and it affected me. In other words, the person teaching me must be credible in that field. So if I want to learn about real estate, I want to ask myself, how much real estate asset does this person have? Right? For many years, I remember at a phase, most of my mentors I had in Nigeria were no longer controlling financially the volume of transaction I was controlling. And I still had problems because I needed a bigger strategy for where I was. Right? I had to start seeking, people who were bigger. It took me a lot. It cost me a lot. But I had to start building relations. Okay, who are those I know in Nigeria? Some of them I didn't even have relationship. That's how I started getting close to Dr. Cosmos Maduka, Gabriel Benedium, traveled all the way to US to meet Grant Cardone, because I now knew that I needed to start meeting people who were billionaires in dollars. We've crossed the point of being billionaires in Naira. Every year we do multi-billion Naira, right? We were doing millions. Our first year in Dubai alone, we did over $20 million, right? So we started, but I now needed people, right, who are at that billion level in their business, in their transactions. Okay? Again, and that takes me to number 3 points, mentorship. And I'll end there. Who are your mentors? The same way you have spiritual mentors. And I tell people, don't joke with that. One of my biggest mistakes for many years, I felt, which mentor am I looking for outside Bishop Oyedepo? Oh yeah, who? What are you talking about? Who? Right? In my mind. But I noticed that the more I follow Bishop, the more my pastoral anointing was growing and the poorer I was getting.
I cannot but laugh with you.
Right? And the poorer I was getting, I will pray for the sick, they will recover. The anointing was heavy, but the pocket was empty, extremely empty. And it took a while before I realized that apparently I still needed business mentors who might not even be Christians, who might even be atheists. That took me years to get. I struggle with that. Of course, today I know better. Now I look forward, because I'm not coming to a business mentor to learn about the Holy Spirit or to learn how to go to heaven. It's just about business. And so why am I having an issue? My conversation should be strictly around the business conversation. I see, since I've known Dr. Cosmos Badika, even though he's a believer and we've had time to pray, but I'm not sure we've ever discussed Bible in his house before. And because the conversation is to learn about business.
Yeah.
So sometimes we feel that, oh, if I start getting people, are they believers? You see people, are they secular? Are they believer? Me, I cannot have any mentor that doesn't believe in. Okay, continue. But today I'm telling you now, have mentors in different phase of your life. A business mentor, an investment mentor. An investment mentor is different from a business mentor. A business mentor is somebody who is specifically good in it. So you want to do real estate. Okay, this man is successful in real estate. Now you need an investment mentor who might even be a real estate or any other business, but you understand how to make, manage, and multiply money. I play in both fields because what you need from an investment mentor is somebody that has moved his funds from zero to something tangible, right? So if somebody is telling you, I started my business with 1,000 naira and we've grown to, having assets worth over $100 million today, now you want to listen to that person because it doesn't matter the business, right? He can give you 1 or 2 steps on how you can begin to grow your funds, okay? But you want to have mentors, spiritual mentor, family mentor, money mentor, investment mentor, business mentor. And as you begin to do that, you will see an extreme turnaround. This is one of the biggest secrets that I've learned from my spiritual mentor, in the sense that I've seen many people who say, you know what, so person is my mentor and he's the only mentor I will ever have. What Bishop Oyedepo did was to be one of those few people that will tell you, I learned this from Hagin, I learned Holy Spirit from what's it called? Austin. What's this man that's gone to be with the Lord, right? And I learned this um, from Quinette Copeland. I learned this from Maura Roberts. I learned, and you are picking from different people based on the specific needs that you have, and you are adding. And I want to encourage you to do the same if you're serious about growing your wealth. I'm going to end here. I want to thank you for having me. I will be taking questions if they are, and God bless you all.
Well, do you want to clap for Dr. Stephen? You want to throw some flowers up for him? Can we clap for him? Thank you. Thank you. He finished right on time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, so much clap, so much flowers for you. Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen. That was a very beautiful session with you. That would have costed some thousands of dollars, but thank you for doing this. We'll move to Q&A very quickly. Most of the people here they're, a few of them are tech founders. I mean, so we don't even discuss spirituality on this platform. They are people that I mentor closely on business and career. So they don't even talk. We've never spoken about spirituality on this platform, the 20 of us here. Some of them are tech founders, some of them are career leaders, and they're doing amazing work. I mean, what you have said is such a game changer that can affect their psychology and do a few things to their mind. So I want to say thank you for that. I picked up a lot of things too, and we'll just take a few questions, and we will be able to fix it from there. So if you have your questions, start setting up your questions, start writing it down. Then we will give you opportunity to unmute yourself, and discuss it. Um, if you cannot, you can just send it into the chat room and we pick it up from there. But I'm going to ask a question. So somehow, Dr. Stephen, you've been speaking about the individual finance. Now, how have you been able to grow your organizational finance? You know,
Well, beautiful question. Really good question. I think that
hold on.
they kind of are very, very linked. They are quite linked in terms of, because it's the principles that you use to grow your own personal finance that you will be able to replicate for your company as well. But one of the things that I've had to do, And I think we were lucky when we kind of restructured and went into real estate, because that was what happened to me. And I'm happy there are a lot of tech guys here. We started as a digital marketing firm. In fact, one of the premier digital marketing firm in Nigeria. Because you know that if you are doing digital marketing 15 years ago, you know that those are old people. And what I realized 2015 when I went to Silicon Valley, because I realized that I needed to take this to the next level, was visiting Facebook campus, Google campus. I realized that Google campus was bigger than UI. Massive real estate. I went to Facebook campus. We were passing what we call Express in Nigeria, different express, and it was still part of Facebook. So I almost got confused. Like, what are you talking about? I expect just okay, even if it's, let's say, even if it's 80-story building, you say yes, they don't do well. But these are massive. We're talking of hundreds of acreage, if not hectares, right, of land, and massive. So it dawned on me that, look, this is why these people are even rated. They are worth also $1 billion. Their real estate asset is added as well, because the value of those assets keep going up. And this is why you see that sometimes a totally unrelated company will just decide to buy a particular company. Sometimes what they are analyzing is the asset of that company. I remember, I think it was AOL that bought Yahoo that time when I visited. And I was wondering what was the connection. But again, they had review. I went to Yahoo campus. It was huge, even though Yahoo as a business was dead. But the real estate infrastructure was huge. So I came back, I said, no, at this point, we need to do real estate, right? And it was also the period where you see people buy people out. And when they were trying to go and restart, none of them were able to start something as big as what they left. And people don't face this reality. Look at what happened with Twitter. Since the founder has left now, has he built anything that can even smell Twitter? Not even forget, like, let's even say 1% of the engagement Twitter has. No. So it's not easy for you to hit one big tech business and you're able to scale it. And even when you now have liquidity, it's not easy to replicate that. It's one of those toughest things to do. These are why Elon Musk did not bother to create new companies. All he did was to be buying out, existing ones, and then putting his ideas and innovating them with his own genius. He didn't bother creating after X, right? He went to PayPal and then kept moving, bought Tesla. Most people still don't know that he didn't found Tesla. He didn't found SpaceX, right? He just got controlling shares of those companies and turned them around. So I will say that you need to review your company totally and say, what are we even putting our money into? So one of the strategies you all use is what McDonald's have done, where McDonald's is a burger company, but they know themselves as a real estate company, because their own analysis is that they buy properties and then lease it to the person who is doing their franchise. And what the person is paying them for tenancy, tenant lease, is more than what he's paying for the royalties on the burger, right? So you want to restructure. Like I said, in our case, it was easy because we're buying land, we're building houses. So naturally, the asset keeps growing. So even if I'm at a loss now, all my money is still going to buying an asset, right? And so that helped us as a company. But of course, it's also important to and that's why I tell people, every human being must understand real estate. I don't care what business you're doing, tech or health or whatever, because real estate is the backbone for every economic activity. So your ability to understand real estate. Okay, Bill Gates right now, as of today, is the largest land banker in the whole of America. Right? He's aggressively buying land across all the states in America. We still don't know what he's trying to do with it. But if somebody who had all that tech background and is going to start buying farmland, that should tell you something. Of course, some data said that they've seen that in the next future, those who can farm will control the world. The same way you have nuclear weapon and all that. the way the world is going and is backward, and climate change and all of that. So the countries who will actually be more powerful are the ones who are able to feed the world, right? So whether that data is true, but Bill Gates is currently the largest person acquiring farmland in the whole of US right now. So you must all master the art of assets for your company so that you're growing, and you should think of asset that complements. So for example, are we going to be saying, okay, we want to start building our offices and put our offices where in buildings that we own? Do you see now? So that way, it's not just that we're buying asset and we're just tying it down. At least where it's becoming something we're renting out. Do we branch into owning a hub if we don't need that level of big office spaces? You can build a whole 20-story building and you only take one floor, right? And you lease the entire building to other people. It becomes another source of income for your company. But you have to begin to think asset liability and making sure your company every year is putting more money into asset than liability. Because I struggled with that when I was in tech, as most of the money we're just going to, okay, we buy new software that to end up we will not even use, right? Employ more people, do this, and most tech guys do that, right? Before you know it, they're wasting so much money. They're trying to show off, buy exotic car, exotic houses for themselves, but the company itself, I mean, look at what's happening with PayPal, what's happening with Flutterwave. We should be having these companies as the largest guys investing in real estate as I speak to you. They should be talking to people like us to say which of your estate can we, get 20 acres to build a campus, right? That will be what, even if you can't do $1 billion like Apple did. Okay, we're trying to work on a $10 million campus for Paystack, or $10 million for Flutterwave, right? These are the thinking, because what that now happen if any crisis happen to your company, right? The assets you built for $10 million will have worth maybe $100 million at that point. So you now have real assets that helps, and that's how many people have done it, even in ministry. What people don't understand about Bishop Oyedepo is that he invests a lot in real estate assets, right? And he's big on real estate. After Catholic, Winners is next in terms of real estate assets. And so, and that's part of the reason why the ministry is that strong. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter the sector, be thinking acquisition of assets.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I move to Adela. Let's have you quickly. If you have questions, just raise your hand so we know. So Adela, after Adela, we move to Tomiwa. I think your hand is up. So carry on. Adela.
My question has been clear, sir.
Oh, he's answered your question in the purpose. Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Who's going next? Tomiwa, was your hand up?
Oh no, my hands were not up. I don't know. But I
Okay,
think
so let's go to David. David, let's have you now. Unmute yourself quickly. We only have 5 more minutes.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the session. So, I think in a way the question has actually been answered a bit, but I think I still want to ask. And the question is basically looking at the base thing that we are all doing. Okay, maybe as a trainer, as a coach, as a consultant. So I often tell the people around me that the volume of the money you can make is determined by the industry. And have you seen maybe just a billionaire, maybe trainer or a consultant? Have you seen somebody that is like more like an asset? So what I want to really ask, based on what you said, about building asset, that not necessarily what we are doing or the business that we are doing is actually what is bringing the money. Now, getting into this real estate or actually building assets, how do we really, like, let's take somebody who earns 100,000 naira for instance in a month, because sometimes I think one of the issues really bothering people is that there's the perception that if you don't have say some millions of naira or some hundreds of thousands, you cannot buy some things. So how do people actually grow from that little amount that they have to that point where they can actually afford some of the things that you are saying? I think that's always That's always the issue, especially for most people in that economic category.
Well, good question. Funny enough, there's no issue there. It's a simple, straightforward thing. When your savings is not enough to invest, then invest in the knowledge of the investment. In fact, for you to do any investment, I always tell people invest in the knowledge of the investment first before the investment itself. For example, many people are doing real estate. How come we're the first real estate company in Nigeria to diversify and start doing real estate in Dubai, start doing real estate in US, start doing real estate in UK? Right? We're the first, right? So it's because we invested in the knowledge beyond the local market, right? And to understand the business at a global level. So when you don't have enough capital, what you should put your money into is the knowledge, because ultimately OPM, we don't have enough time. I've talked about OPM and OPT. Every business ultimately grows you leveraging on OPM and OPT, other people's money, other people's time. So you will eventually not scale your business with your own money to start with. You will still scale it with other people's money. And the only reason thing to convince people to give you their money is your knowledge in the business. Right? Particularly at the beginning. Of course, after a while, they don't even care whether you have knowledge. Your result, terminates the insult. But at the beginning of trying to get people to invest and give you money so you can scale your business, it will be the quality of the knowledge that will get them there. So for me, it has been that principle that, okay, I don't have enough money to buy land, but can I go for a master class on how to even do real estate investment? At least now I have the knowledge. Because in our lifetime, everybody will always have a major breakthrough opportunity. It's the way life works. The question is, are you ready? What many people don't know is that, because a lot of people have said, suddenly it looks as if you broke, like something broke suddenly, like there was a breakthrough. Like, what happened? What happened was simple. I was prepared, and COVID became my opportunity. So during COVID, as a 2020, we're just like your average real estate company, average practically. But COVID happened, everybody was shutting down. And again, because I've been prepared, I've read one of Alibaba's book. They have had all those kind of COVID. Alibaba brought his biggest invention during China 4 months lockdown. Took some of his staff in the building, and they started cooking up the next thing. So when this happened, I said, this is my own opportunity to practice it. Kept some of our staff in the office. Crack what we're going to do. We've never had billboard. We've never even had TV advert. And ladies and gentlemen, the first ever advert in our life was a CNN advert during COVID. And it was intentional. In fact, most of that money came from my own personal pocket because I just saw a window. Most real estate company, when I asked them, till December, they've sacked all their staff, or they've told their staff, we don't know where the world was going, right, during lockdown, And then I said to my team, I said, if we hit it hard, we'll have all the attention. And prior to that time also, we had built the culture of we're doing live streaming for inspection. We're the first to start allocation virtually on Facebook and Zoom to show you, okay, this is where we're located, and we're showing live, because most of our clients were in diaspora. So as COVID happened, diaspora clients were having more money, right? Now they couldn't come. The excuse usually would be when I come. Now they can't even come. So they were now willing to rely on all the new concepts we already have been using that felt like we're just working, nobody was ready for it. And boom, we grew by more than 500% during 2020. And before you say Jack Robinson, the rest is history. So everybody will always have that kind of moments. But the question is, do you have enough knowledge to even recognize it and to make your move? Right? So, but for that to happen, all that little money you say is not enough. Put it into the knowledge, acquire the knowledge. For example, even this real estate business, I didn't have money to start it, but I had been marketing properties, getting commission. So I was running a training after I returned from Silicon Valley Digital marketing training, teaching people how to use the internet to sell. Only for one person to, and I said, very soon I'll start my real estate company. Ability to declare. I didn't have the money. After the class, a man walked up to me, one of my students, said, I have 250 acres in Ikorodu. You know how to sell. And you're a man of integrity. I'll give you 50 acres. You are selling, start paying me. Well, the rest, as they say, is history. We have almost 30 estates now. So even the money I didn't have to start even the first estate, but I had knowledge by choosing to have been selling for real estate companies over 5 years before that opportunity showed up. So this, and of course, I was also into digital marketing, so I understand how to use technology to sell. And when we started, I just said to myself, I'm not even concentrating on Nigerian clients. That's why sometimes you say I'll be bored in Nigeria. My goal is diaspora. Till today, over 90% of our clients are in diaspora. So I'm not going to come, because, and that's why sometimes we're not one of those cheap companies, right? Because if you are fighting and doing competition with your local guys, right? Now you have to go into price war, and you can't beat those who are big already. So we just focus on a new market and then use public speaking as a tool, because people only do business with those they know, they like, they trust. So by the time I break that, I'm not even forcing you to buy property. I don't know if if you have money, you even buy property from my company just because of today's class, right? And I use that as a tool. So I know that by the time I'm done teaching you, I'm not even pressurizing to do real estate with me. But now you know me. Now you trust me. Do you see now? And of course you like me because I did a good job in teaching you. The rest is history. So, and that became a tool. So digital marketing became a tool. Public speaking became a tool, right? And of course the knowledge became a tool to then do any, and that's why today, if we do any business, we will sell, because we already have the tools and the knowledge, to grow and scale. So I hope that that's helpful.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I think we have just one or two more and we are done. Let's have your question, Ayode, very quickly. Introduce yourself, what you do, and please move straight to your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Stephen. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us. My name is Ayode. I work at a tech company, a cloud cybersecurity company called Cloudflare. I also run a tech startup. So my question is around what you were talking about. So you said your market is the diasporan market, and 90% of your business comes from that. So I just wanted to get your thoughts around the Nigerian market. Nigeria is a very complicated market. The customers and the people are, very interesting. We have a large population. Also, we have a large number of poor people. Some people will tell you people living in extreme poverty. A lot of our middle class are leaving the country or are on the way to leaving the country. But on the other hand, you have a lot of fintechs that have been quite successful, right? Flutterwave, classic example. They're going to IPO very soon. So just wanted to get your thoughts. How do you balance the Nigerian market in terms of the opportunity and the reality of the market? Just wanted to get your thoughts around that.
Well, good question. Nigerian market is a consumer market. Just have a product that you can sell at a very cheap price, and you're targeting that large population. All the if you say Flutterwave, the same thing. If you say Kuda, same thing. Being able to even Ope is killing it now. But the concept is simply go to the villages, tell people all these 15 naira bank charges, you don't need to pay. Just download our app, just move your money. And before you say Jack Robinson, they have 100 million people, they have 10 million people, they have 50 million people. And even if it's now to decide which some of those regulations allow them to then use 5% or 20% of what people are keeping in their wallets, and then trade with it, right, for profit. Okay, before you know it, they are building a very big empire. So that's the approach to the Nigerian market. You have to just think of what can you sell to people at a very cheap price that is solving their problem. It's a need, it's not even a want. And you know, you have a little margin on it, and the rest is history. So I mean, there's a lady which is very strange. You know, everybody's trying to sell Richard card digitally now, but she still retained the old Asian method of selling all these paper, right? And she does over £1 billion in turnover every month. And I had to ask her, why did you stick to the paper? She just realized the consumer behavior that apparently a lot of poor people don't want to buy their data or recharge card online because of the charges when you do it online. And when you do that paper, remember, if you buy 100 naira, it's the exact 100 naira is on it. Who knows what I'm talking about? Those, because I haven't bought paper recharge card. I can't even know. I don't even know what that means but for years now. But if you remember that time, your 100 naira is 100 naira. But even if you do the bank version now, there will still be, 20 naira somewhere, 5 naira somewhere. There are people who are bothered about that 5 naira, that 10 naira. And by just choosing to still service that market, she does over £1 billion. And so whatever little on it, right, is still so huge to take care of her big time. So that's the kind of strategy that works in Nigeria. And once you have that, you're good to go. But just make sure it's automated. Because once you go to these consumer markets, be automated and plan for a good PR because they will come after you. It's the typical Nigerian thing, right? You know how many times they've come after Flutterwave, how many times they've come after Kuda. It's just normal. So if you go that route, be expecting, even us, when we started and we used to have this cheap, deposit 250,000, till today, the clients that give me a headache are the lower ebb, right? Clients that do 100 million naira single transaction with me do not even want any mortal man to know that they have 100 million naira anywhere. Okay, so it's the one that still do 5 billion, 10 million that want to, in fact, in their mind, like, how many years it took me to save that money. So any little issue in their finances and they want their money back, they are ready to start calling you out on social media and all those things. So be ready for that as well, because some of you want to become billionaires and you don't want anybody to ever call you out. That comes with the territory. As you grow, people will call you out, and I used to wonder then why are they always criticizing Bishop? Why Bishop not doing PR? Why, we too, we need to fight back. Later, now I realize that, look, the energy you're even using to fight back, you use it to grow something tangible. So it's just one of those things you must just be ready for. As your business grow, people will come after you. As you get bigger, they'll come after you. That's normal. So plan that as well into the entire business plan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ayode, are you satisfied with the answer? You
Yes,
good?
no, it's very good. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think that all the questions we have, I can't see any other hands raised. So I would just want to say a big thank you to Dr. Stephen Akintayo for that beautiful session. Oh, somebody's hand is up. Let me ask if Dr. Stephen will still want to take it. Dr. Stephen, would you want to take
Why
the
not?
question?
Why not? I'll take that one.
Okay, Baba Remu, let's go quickly. Baba Remu, let's do it. Unmute yourself,
Hello.
Baba Remu.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for this session. Thank you very much. In fact, I've been looking through the entire questions asked. Is like they checked my list of questions. So, but there's one more, and I want to ask Doctor. Thank you very much for the presentation. About a couple of years before now, I've seen people go around talk about how you can actually have access in real estate. Some persons will tell you to do instrumental payments. So one of the major issues I personally asked them was validation, to be sure that these real estate guys are not persons that will take your money and disappear. So one of them I actually started with. So along the line, I wasn't seeing them to be that credible. So I paused, I stopped. So since that time, I've been looking out for how to get something credible, because it's something for you to go out of the way. And after like a year, you tell them you want to see their location, then it's one story to the other, one thing to the other. And I just paused and said, this real estate thing might just not work. So I've actually heard about you, read a lot of your articles and some of your presentations before now. So when I heard that you were coming, I was really looking forward to it. So, but sir, I haven't advised us to say we can also try to have access regardless of what we're doing. Real estate is a very good thing to invest into. Now, in terms of credibility, how do we see the notable credibilities of most of these organizations? Now that you said you mostly do diaspora, of which some of us I know we are here will be interested to be a part of what you're doing. But since you said you mostly do diaspora, so how would you advise us in this light? Thank you, sir.
So when I say I mostly do diaspora, basically I'm talking about affordability, right? So a lot of Nigerians who do business with us, it's just that we don't do all these extremely cheap products. And the reason we don't do them is also to keep the credibility. So one of the major things Nigerians are yet to face, and I can't blame them because of our level of poverty, is that Nigerians want quality, but they want it cheap. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't happen that way. So, for example, you want to buy a land. Do you know how many land we had to buy twice? Because we bought it first time, paid everything checked out. But the family divided themselves into two. Another fashion came later and started with gun. To protect our name and reputation, we paid the second family again. Okay, so if we